from the correspondent in Ondo State, and we understand vividly that there was a mishap as a boat capsized in Ilaje local government in the course of carrying INEC officials and materials. And we understand that INEC will be making a statement clearly in that direction, and if that in any way will affect the smooth sail of the electoral process. And also we expect that the turning out of voters will bring about a huge turnout in terms of voting in the voting population. And we have basically about 1.4 registered voters who have already been given PVCs. From that fraction, we have 1.8, but 1.4 have been given PVCs, and we expect that from that 1.4 million, we should be having a very huge turnout in that direction. And looking at this, I start with you, A.B. Thomas. From all the process so far, what do you make of the development in terms of the expectations as per voters turning out for the electoral process this morning?
Well, I expect a large turnout of voters in the Ondo State. Firstly, the Edo State election has become a yardstick for voters all over Nigeria, particularly the stakeholders, to galvanize voters to come. Secondly, the Edo State election has in some way restored some confidence in the voters themselves that their votes will count. And thirdly, the performances of the man we call Akete, that is Akedolu, in the Sunshine State, Ondo State, in the past 2 years, we also galvanize people to come out to vote. Whether he has performed well to their expectations in the past 2 years or not. So I expect, in spite of the violence that trailed the campaigns, I also expect that instead of diminishing voters' enthusiasm,
yes,
it will galvanize them to vote. Because not many Nigerians will remember that although people have always voted in large numbers. If you remember what happened between Amaboriowo and Adasi in 1983, which, of course, since there's no more history being taught in schools in Nigeria, not many people know that that incident had a direct reflection to the emergence of Buhari in a military coup. The Yoruba said no, Ondo State votes must count. I remember my late father moving from Abeokuta in what is called today Ogun State to Ondo for that election alone. So there will be election, there will be a large turnout, and the people's votes must count so as to avoid what happened between Amaboriowo and late Ajasin.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Pius. Let's take a stretch of what has been transpiring so far in the electoral process before now. Some political pundits are saying that with previous realities in Ondo election, They expect that there could be also ballot snatching, voter intimidation, and of course, vote buying. With what we have experienced so far, do you see that churning out?
Well, just like Chief A.B. Thomas, my very learned senior, said while he was reacting to the question posed, the Edo experience is like
An eye-opener.
an eye-opener, a springboard for other states to emulate. And of course, with what happened here on the 19th of September, you will agree with me that there has been a paradigm shift from the experience in the past to what we now experience in terms of consciousness in the electoral process.